photo and I'm in a position of almost standing, then you take another photo of me standing. When you move those 3 photos in quick succession, it will create an illusion that it is a living object that is standing up. Yeah. So that is how you create an illusion of motion. And by then, you'll have used my 3 images to create an animation, or to create an object that is standing up. Same with walking. You can take a photo of me when I'm just lifting my leg, then I place my leg in front, then I lift my left leg, I place it in front. So you take very many photos of different positions of my motion. When you change those frames in a quick succession, it will be viewed. It will be viewed as if someone is moving. You'll have created a video, and basically that is what video cameras do. What video cameras do, actually, they take your photos, very many photos, at a very short interval of time, in microseconds. And therefore, when you now present those photos, it is seen as a video. Is that okay? So one, you can use various frames. And we have principles that then define that motion or animation. One of them is this squash and stretch. So squash and stretch is a principle of animation which gives a sense of weight and flexibility to drawn objects or drawn images. So this can be applied in simple objects, and an example is a bouncing ball. So when a bouncing ball falls and bounces back, it creates a squash and stretch movement. Like now, let's see this these images below here. You see, when you throw a ball, it will bounce several times as it moves ahead. Now, for you to create an illusion of motion, maybe you want to use the images of a ball to create that the ball is moving. You don't just use normal balls bouncing, but then you need to create a squash and stretch. In that, when a ball is moving down, it stretches. When it hits the ground, it's squash. Yeah, to create that essence of weight. Yeah, the principle of gravity has to be applied on something that is hitting the ground. And even we as living objects, let's say when you are falling from a high cliff, when you hit the ground, there will be that aspect of gravitational force that will pull you down to the ground. Yeah. So you will create an aspect of squashing when you hit the ground. Like you'll not just hit the ground when you are horizontal or in a straight position, you'll tend to bend a little bit. So that principle of creating that animation is called squash and stretch. Let's see this image of this gentleman who is falling and bouncing. You see, when he's coming down, he's stretched. But when he hits the ground, he pulls down, or he comes down, or he kneels down. And now when he wants now to lift up, maybe to jump, let's say this is a long jump, you will find that aspect of stretching again, so that you create that stamina that will propel you if you want to jump for a long jump. Yeah. And so that is how also the ball will behave. And you can even try this. Yeah. When it hits down, it compresses itself. Then when it wants to lift up, then it stretches. So when you have images, when you want to create an illusion of motion and you want to use pictures. So what this principle teaches us is you draw very many pictures. You will draw a picture of someone who is coming down. You draw another picture of someone who is already down. Then you draw another picture of someone who is lifting up, down, up, down, like that. Let's say you have 100 pictures of someone who is standing in the upright position, someone who is 60% bending, 50% bending, 30% bending, and bending completely. Then you now start drawing another series of picture of someone who is 30% lifting up, 40% lifting up, like that, until he's completely in a standing position. So now when you place these pictures together, when you join these pictures together, then it will create an illusion of motion. Is that clear? Okay, so now that is one. Then the second principle is these are still examples of squash and stretch. Then another principle is anticipation. So anticipation is used to prepare the audience for an action and to make the action appear more realistic. Yeah, you prepare an audience that this is something that is going to happen. Like a dancer jumping off the floor has to bend his knees first. A golfer making a swing has to swing the club back first. Yeah, so that you prepare. Like if you want to throw a ball, you'll first bend. Let's say it's a player who wants to throw the ball into the field. You'll find they will first bend backward with holding the ball and then throws the ball in front. So that aspect of bending backward is what we are calling anticipation. So when you are creating your game, you have also to create the anticipation in your motions or in your objects. Let's say the objects wants to start moving. You have to create the anticipation so that the player knows this is what is going to happen next. Yeah, like the three images that we are seeing here of someone who wants to hit the ground with a hammer. So there is the first image is the anticipation of the action, then hitting the action. The actual action is now hitting the ground, and then there is the reaction of hitting the ground, like that bouncing back aspect. So when you are creating your game, also create anticipation. Try to build anticipation. Let's say you have created a game of boxing. People are boxing each other. We need to see that anticipation aspect. Like if someone is going to hit you hard, there is that aspect of swinging back your thumb, then hitting your opponent. And then your opponent, after being hit, there will be that aspect of moving backward or falling backward. So that is the reaction. And then when you are hitting, there should be that impact. Yeah. So you can create that one using static images. Yeah, because we've said animation is basically creating an illusion of motion, but using static objects. So you use static images and create an animation. Yeah. So again, for this, you can just use different objects positioned at different stages. Then when you move those objects in quick succession, then it will show the anticipation principle of animation. Are we still together? You see, when I'm presenting, I may not know whether you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Oh, perfect. So the second principle is anticipation. Yeah, now you can see in these images in your screen. Someone is anticipating to jump. You will first of all bend a little bit so that you create that that energy, and then now you jump. So you see, if you're having a natural person, like the first image is a neutral image. So if you want your character or your object to jump, you cannot just jump from being neutral. You first need to create an anticipation that you want to jump so that you prepare the audience of what is going to happen. Like when you just see this second image, you will definitely guess what is going to happen next. Yeah, like this person is definitely going to jump. Just give me a minute. I pick this call. Okay, so let's proceed. Sorry for that. So we've talked about two principles. One being anticipation, the first one being squash and stretch. So you can see other images of anticipation. So every action needs some form of anticipation, and this makes your game at least interesting. Like if someone is lifting a heavy object, as you can see, there will be that aspect of showing that this person is struggling to lift a heavy object by bending in the opposite direction. So these movements prepare the audience for a major action the character is about to perform, such as starting the run, jumping, or changing expression. Yeah. So that is anticipation. The other one is staging. So this principle is akin of staging as it's known in theater and film. Staging is basically creating or directing the audience attention to a particular focus, yeah, and make it clear what is of greatest importance in the game scene. You remember, we'll have game scenes, and very many things will be happening in the game scene. Like let's say you've created a game that involves very many objects, very many characters. You need to create what is called staging, whereby you focus on where the action is happening, what is happening at that moment. So that is called staging. So this can be done by various means, such as placement of the character in a frame, yeah, or using the light and shadow, or the angle and position of the camera. The essence of this principle is basically to keep focus on what is relevant and avoid unnecessary detail. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, there's some background noise. So that is staging. As you can see, you need to focus your camera on the right images. Like the two images that you can see here, there is one for bad staging and the one for good staging, where the camera is focusing on the face of the individuals who are arguing on one another. Yet the first image is not focusing on the actual faces of the individuals. Yeah. Yeah. So this is how it's illuminated in a game, whereby you can see a lot of light has been focused on the two characters, and then the other ones has been casted by the shadow. Good. So there are 12 different types of principles of animations that you can see. I think I shared with you these notes. You can go and read the others. So when you are doing your game, and I will be interested to know how you are faring on, because this topic will not wait for the end of the semester, so that you present. What we'll be doing after every class, maybe we'll be having like 15 minutes. Just a minute. Yeah, so as you continue learning about animation. Next time we'll learn about, today we've created an illusion of motion. So next time we'll learn about now creating the collision detection, because your objects needs to have a detection of collision, and how can you program that collision detection, how to create that collision detection. That will be our next topic. Then we'll learn about event listeners. That is basically how you can communicate with the game objects, you as the player, how when you press the keys or the mouse, how that event is listened or is executed on the screen. So I want to allow somebody who has started developing this game to present to us and try to showcase some of the principles that we've learned in the game. Let's see how he has come up with this game scene. Let's see how he or she has come up with the objects, whether programmed objects or imported objects. And let's see your game story. So anybody who is ready, so that you earn your marks as early as now. As I told you that this topic of this unit does not have an end of semester. You just do an exam that is out of 50 and probably a cut, a simple continuous assessment task, just to assess your understanding of the topic. But most of your marks, you are going to get it from the game that you're going to develop, from your project. And because I cannot come and sit there the whole day listening to all your projects on 1 day or 2 days. So what I will do, I'll just break it down into every session that we meet. I'll be allocating 15 minutes to assess your projects and award you marks as we proceed. So anybody who has developed something, you want to show it to us, even if you're just halfway, you can just tell us what you are doing, your game story. This is the objective of my game. I am doing it in this platform. This is the language that I'm using to create motion. This is the programming language that I've used to create event listener. And then this is how my game is ending. So who is ready? So that I can also listen. Or we have not started?
Excuse me, sir.
You're ready?
Yeah, let me set up my environment, then I share.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm ready. So let me share my screen. I can go ahead.
Yes, we can see your screen, so you can proceed.
Okay, so So the game is basically a 2D platformer game. I haven't decided on the theme of the game like very precisely, but I'm going to focus on a 2D platformer game where there are game collectibles that are being counted above here, then some form of enemy. So right now the the goal of the game is you can move around and jump, and then when you finish collecting all the stars, so there's one star I collected. When I collect this other one, I don't know if you can see some bouncing ball. Let me try and zoom in. If you can see some bouncing
Yes,
ball,
yes,
that's
we
like
can see.
it's a form of enemy. So I think let me see if I can, if it when it hits may turn red. So I haven't put for it any form of like now deducting of the stars or something. So I'm still trying to figure out the mechanics. So but this is what I have so far and how I'm able to set this up. Yeah, I think that's my progress so far. Nothing much. So I think I can just explain the code. Oh, so the tools I'm using the JavaScript language. And now within the JavaScript language, there is a framework called Phaser.js. Just search it. Phaser.js. So this is the tool that is using the JavaScript game framework. So I think all my code is in main.js. So you start with like setting a scene. Let me just like this is where like I'll be writing the code. So you start by setting a scene, and you upload the background assets, the the character sprite sheet. So a sprite sheet will look something like, so it's like the character, how you want to animate them. This will be designed in a software. So what I'm currently using, I'm going to use Krita. There's a tool called Krita. It really allows for 2D easy 2D design, and it's free. Yeah, so here I just upload the images and the sprite sheets. Then over here I create, now there's some APIs that Phaser.js provides to easily create a player, easily put the animations, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So that's what I've done so far.
Well, that's great. I'm impressed. That is nice. Yeah, that is good progress, my friend. And at least you've shown that you've programmed. At least you can see where you've picked your assets and how you've created the scene right from scratch. So that is good. At least there is a game story which you've promised that you're going to complete. But there has to be an objective. Like now for your case, whenever you hit the balls or whenever you jump, there is some points that you're earning. So that is what we call the objective of the game. So your game needs to have an objective. If a player plays, what is he anticipating, or what is his or her target? So for this case, the target is earning more points as you move forward. So I believe that is your objective of the game, which is the same as the game story. The game story is basically what tells us the step-by-step journey of your game from the beginning to the end. Like let's say this game will end, or it will become more complicated. One scene will end if maybe say I get 10 points. Then this scene scene 1 or level 1 ends, then now level 2 begins. So if I'm interested in the game, I can move to level 2. Maybe more complicated or more tighter than level 1. So that is how we build our game. So thank you so much, Omondi. So you see, Omondi, you've already earned so you can just share your name and your registration number so that we start then assessing and apportioning the marks. So anybody else who is ready?
I've shared my details in the chat.
Okay, good. So thank you, Omondi. Yeah, Nani is ready. Orero, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll share my screen. So what I've been able to do so far is creating an object in motion. I've not really created the scene yet, so I was trying to figure out how to create the motion. So, okay. So my game story is basically a hen which is trying to collect eggs in a scene. So far this is the object. I imported it, and when I play it, like based on gravity, it's able to move, and when I press the space bar, it jumps. It keeps on jumping. Yes, so I was trying to figure out like this. So this is what it's currently doing. Yes, but I'm in the process of creating the scene.
So when does the game end, or what is the end of your game?
So the end of the game, it will end when the chicken has collected enough eggs for that particular level. Then it proceeds to a different obstacle now. Different scene. Yes.
Okay, that is nice. So this one I've seen you've used, is it Unity or Unreal?
Unity.
Game development. Yeah, good. So
Unity, and then I added some components like the code. I use C#. So I added a script component that will be able to move the chicken using the spacebar. Yes.
yeah, that is nice. So yes, as you can see, this is a game that is at least demonstrating the principle that we've learned, including the principle of animation that we've just learned today. Because what basically this does is having very many photos of the chicken, creating a different, at different stages or levels within the game scene. And then now it can create, you can see as if a chicken is jumping up and down. So it's animating that object. So that is nice. You want to say something else?
No.
Yeah, so perfect. I'll be interested to see the end of the game. But yes, I've seen some principles. You are basically doing something great that we can start building and upon. Yeah, so thank you so much. As you progress, you can share your details. Anybody else who is ready? Okay, so I think the rest you can proceed. So I've only assessed 2 students today. I believe I'll assess many next tomorrow. Actually, we are meeting tomorrow. We're meeting tomorrow from 9 So I believe I'll be able to assess more of your work, and then now as we proceed to learn other topics in this unit. Otherwise, enjoy your day and have a good day. Thanks.